Okay, so we already in our 11th year of IDM. So we are IDM ecosystem with 4 pillars. The first one is digital media, and also creators economy, and also our live streaming platform and entertainment. So the fresh one, I think, if you guys know Pestapora, someone is went to visit Pestapora. So Pestapora is our latest portfolio that comes under our entertainment pillars. So we really want to be relevant with millennials and Gen Z. That's why we want to be able to be there in all touch points of millennials and Gen Z. So moving on to the questions, we can just put off the slide. Okay, how are you girls doing for 2024?
Doing good, yeah.
So
Trying to be optimist.
okay, hopefully after our session it's going to be an optimistic future.
Good and optimistic as well.
Nice, very a good spirit, yeah, everyone. So our first questions will be the easy one first. How do you balance creativity and experimentation with maintaining brand consistency in your marketing strategies? Maybe from Madeline first. Welcome Ramadan. By the way,
Thank you Sylvia. Ya, itu pertanyaan yang cukup sering terlontar ya, terutama di kalangan marketing dan innovator, how to balance creativity dan experimentation, tapi tetap maintain brand consistency agar tidak kemana-mana gitu ya. Nah, hal tersebut tuh bukan berarti nggak mungkin, memang challenging, tapi bisa dilakukan as long as brand kita itu sudah membangun brand foundation yang kuat. Artinya apa? Artinya adalah brand memiliki purpose dan positioning yang jelas, dan sebisa mungkin itu juga diturunkan ke dalam brand book yang bisa menjadi guidepost buat wider team maupun agency partner yang akan mengerjakan campaign kita gitu, untuk memastikan bahwa there is corridor reference yang sejalan dengan brand values, tone, dan visual gitu. Nah, kemudian selain itu juga saya melihat bahwa creativity dan experimentation itu menjadi hal yang sangat penting agar brand tetap stay relevan dan akan menjadi become more impactful ketika reinforce brand identity gitu. Sehingga sangat penting buat kita untuk memastikan connectivity campaign message dari satu platform ke platform lain untuk make sure bahwa masing-masing message itu tetap nyambung dengan brand main messaging-nya. Nah, karena saya pada dasarnya melihat bahwa creativity dan consistency itu adalah complementary. It doesn't cancel each other's out. Yang perlu diperhatikan itu adalah all the creativity effort to ensure that it enhance brand core identity.
oh jadi core-nya mesti the brand book dulu yang harus konsisten semua, walaupun through experimentation, into innovations, tetap semua orang stakeholders, creative, brands, media, semua talking to about the same thing ya Pak ya?
Betul, sehingga brand identity-nya dijagain.
Okay, got it. Mungkin I move to Mbak Dila as a creative dan creative agency gitu ya, usually become the partner of the brand gitu ya. How do you balance nih akhirnya? You have broader point of view regarding creative and also insights.
Okay, so basically we need to treat creativity and experimentation as the extensions of the brand's core identity. We need to align the brand values, tone, and visual identity while still allowing the flexibility for us to adapt to new trends or innovation. So basically with our guidelines, brand guidelines, we can test some new ideas without straying from the brand essence. For example, our previous project with a haircare brand where we broke the traditional gender and beauty stereotype. So we partner with a male YouTube content creator instead of relying with a female beauty talents. This campaign actually didn't alter the brand values, but actually enhance it to the another level. It resonates more with the younger generation, where they value more about authenticity, and also they have a different perception about beauty compared with conventional beauty perception. This campaign also generates good results, organic impression, engagement, and user volume, but also in terms of business point of view, month. So we need to see creativity and experimentation as a driver for engagement and differentiation. When we think about brand consistency, to build trust and recognition. So that balance is a key basically. And collaboration and regular evaluation feedback also important to refine the efforts and also ensure that both innovation and consistency are driving for long-term success.
Jadi a bit calculated risk lah ya sebenarnya experimentation itu, we have to test, also we have to collaborate with creativity and experimentation juga supaya we understand that ada data nih yang bisa kita ambil. Tentu inovasi harus dibarengi terhadap output apa yang kita rencanakan dapat ya, sehingga learning curve-nya terus muter-muter dan terjadi. Tapi sesuai sih, I really like the sentences yang tentang resonate the younger audience. Resonate kan artinya listening ya, understanding the insight gitu. Yang sebenarnya nyambung karena dari berdasarkan researchnya Millennials and Gen Z juga, ternyata top 3 trending topics itu tentang humanity, justice, dan juga environment. Mungkin itu hal-hal yang terus harus di-share juga gitu ya sebagai partnernya dari brand. Kalau ini loh insight-nya dan brand bisa melihat dari sana, nyambung nggak nih sama core brand identity-nya lagi gitu ya. Dan I think it's connected to my next question gitu ya. Mungkin untuk Mbak Nuning gitu ya sebagai the brand guardian gitu ya di Unilever, kayak how does Unilever embed a culture of innovation across its extensive portfolio? Banyak banget ya, dan I understand Unilever selalu konsisten about brand purpose juga gitu. Tapi how to maintain relevance juga sih di market yang kompetitif ya sekarang.
Oke, terima kasih pertanyaannya ya. Untuk stay relevance itu memang kita harus berani berinovasi dan selalu mencoba untuk staying ahead of consumer behavior gitu yang memang berubah dengan sangat cepat. Embedding culture of innovation, mungkin saya bisa share 3 hal yang kita praktekkan di Unilever. Yang pertama itu adalah being so passionate about consumer needs gitu. Karena kita pengen make sure bahwa whatever innovation or campaign that belongs to the market itu solve real problem rather than just chasing trend. Karena brand can fade in, tapi when it come that we give a real solution to consumer, they can feel it and then they will connect to the brand even more. Nah, dalam hal ini kita juga tidak cuma sensing untuk melihat consumer behavior, tapi benar-benar menggunakan data-driven insight untuk mapping what are the new need that is coming up and emerging, dan apa yang harus kita respon immediately. Saya ambil contoh tentang health trend ya, karena kadang kalau di Indonesia itu sama-sama ya, health trend ini sebenarnya bagaimana sih konsumen interestnya gitu. But we do see that the segment is growing further. The segment already reached 20% dan akselerasinya itu bisa mencapai 8%. Sehingga dengan begitu juga brand kita harus respon. That's why then kemudian kita launch Bangladesh Sugar dan Royco Mushroom untuk answer that challenge. Nah, yang kedua itu adalah membangun culture of innovation di mana failure itu bukan dia sebagai mistake, tapi sebagai learning opportunity. Karena learning kita itu adalah tidak semua inovasi itu menjadi best selling, ya, tidak menjadi best seller, gitu. Dan tidak semua campaign yang kita jalankan itu juga menjadi viral. Tapi dengan kita semakin sering berinovasi dan bereksperimen, we learn untuk sense where the consumer are, dan juga bagaimana mereka seberapa cepat sih sebenarnya konsumen berevolusi. Di tim saya, pembelajarannya itu kita lakukan dengan setiap kali kita berinovasi, kita selalu disiplin untuk melakukan 100 days post-launch evaluation. Karena itu menjadi momentum buat tim untuk benar-benar ngerti apa sih yang berjalan dengan efektif dan apa yang mesti di-pivot. Nah, poin yang ketiga adalah innovation is a collaboration job. Jadi it's not just the marketer job. Kita mengundang teman-teman cross function dari R&D, supply chain, dan juga dari tim sales to really be agile in adapting with innovation. Karena menurut saya sih this agility itu harus come in all fronts sehingga masing-masing cross functional team itu push their boundaries gitu untuk deliver innovation faster and bolder.
Oke, yang aku dapat tadi keyword-keyword yang very interesting for me adalah solving real problem. Kadang-kadang sometimes we have this bias in our mind ya, kalau we see ourselves as the target audience, padahal enggak juga gitu ya. Yang kadang-kadang kita harus turun ke bawah dan really see what is happening di our audience real point of view. And then collaboration tadi agree banget sih bahwa nggak cuma kita aja nih yang punya marketing plan yang harus berinovasi, tapi benar-benar harus semuanya, the whole organization kalau perlu harus bareng-bareng berkomitmen gitu ya Pak ya. Dan learning itu kadang-kadang pelajaran mahal ya gitu ya. Ya, oke. Move on ke Mbak Dila gitu. Challenge-nya nih gitu, what challenges have you faced in driving experimentation with traditional advertising models and how have you overcome them? Ini udah lama banget kan ya Mbak, boleh dong cerita-cerita.
So basically the most common challenge are resistance to change, fear of failure, and also budget constraint. So most of the brands feel safer using traditional models because it is tested and proven. While if we have innovation, there are some risks into it. So since this point of view, make the brands put most of their budget into the traditional models, while they leave only a little room budget for innovation. But we need to understand that actually experimentation is the key for growth. So it should be grounded in market and customer understanding, backed with data and also trends or case study, and also with clear hypothesis and also expected outcomes. We can start small by doing some pilot projects which can minimize the risk and also test the ideas. For example, in performance marketing, if we do performance marketing, there are so many diverse channels, formats, targeting, and also bidding strategy which make it more complex. With experimentation, we can optimize and also create some winning formula that can measure also the impact of the advertising. Besides that, a meta study also found that doing 15 experimentation within a year can boost the ad performance by 30%. And if we do it for 2 years, we can boost the ad performance by 45%. Another study also found by Deloitte stated that a high growth company actually are more likely to encourage creativity compared with other companies which has a negative growth. So that's why we think that creativity and experimentation is a key for growth, and it is not only one-time effort, but a continuous cycle of testing and learning. By fostering a culture of experimentation, brand can remain relevant, adaptable, and also stand out within the competitive market.
Jadi the growth mindset actually have to be applied to all the stakeholders ya, baik eksternal maupun internal juga ya, Mbak sama Mbak Dila. Start small tadi very interesting karena a lot of brands, a lot of mungkin advertisers ya yang really hesitate untuk sesuatu yang baru ya, I've never tried this before, belum ada learningnya, itu brand lain belum pernah coba, tapi sometimes briefnya sesuatu yang baru yang belum pernah gitu, cuma gimana ya performance-nya, learningnya belum ada karena there is no such thing before gitu. Jadi memang kadang learning is something that we have to have the effort together ya, it's a cumulative effort together gitu yang memang sometimes risknya ada. Again tadi kata Mbak Nuni, nggak semua eksperimen itu best selling ya Mbak ya, dan makanya itu solusinya jadi start small tadi itu ya, akhirnya eksperimen juga nggak harus besar kok gitu, start small dulu, if you see the progress then we go more and more mungkin ya kalau memang itu sukses gitu. Menarik. Kita masih ada waktu, mungkin aku masih banyak penasaran nih, gak apa ya? Lanjut. Tadi menyambung sama openingnya Pak Tanto tentang AI gitu. AI itu kan kayaknya dari last 2 years tuh udah mulai gaung ya. A lot of people, a lot of companies say AI lagi gitu. Kayak I want to know gitu, mungkin dari Densu kali ya, mungkin lebih bisa gather a lot of information about AI dulu gitu, kayak how does Densu use AI dan data analytics to identify untapped opportunities in the hyper digital era?
Okay, currently we use AI mostly in terms of automation and expediting the process. Last year we partnered automation, cost efficiency, and also reducing man hour. This initiative actually showed that we can cut operational time by 60 to 70% compared with regular setup. We also have our own tools called Copilot AI, which enables us to connect the client's brief with the audience insight across thousands of attributes. It enables media planner to create a richer profile supported by Gen AI, which can create a more precise and impactful media activation. This year, we are also planning to create a reporting AI, which can create a post-campaign analysis along with the recommendation and also eliminating the manual reporting.
Oh, jadi automation dan menjadi lebih efisien ya bekerjanya dan lebih tajam juga result dari semua proposal, report dan semuanya. Very interesting. Udah you think deeper ya in using AI in your daily life juga gitu ya. Oke, Unilever ada spesifik strategi nggak sih buat Nuning dan Unilever mungkin untuk implement dan how to leverage AI di Unilever dan
AI ini memang game changer ya. We need to be there and then we need to learn to use it. Gitu. Nah, kalau di strategi yang Unilever implementasikan leveraging AI itu ada kita sebutnya tuh 3A. Satu, actively listen. Jadi we actively listen untuk predict cultural conversation dan capture the trend across format sehingga kita tahu nih conversation yang matters buat audience kita itu apa. Yang kedua itu adalah actively create dan ketiga itu adalah actively engage. Karena dengan bantuan Gen AI itu kita akan bisa lebih mudah untuk doing trend checking, terutama di momen-momen seperti Ramadan yang mana di momen ini nih hampir semua advertiser kan main gitu ya, dan juga consumer spend di media juga jauh lebih intens dibanding hari regular day. Nah, with the help of Gen AI, kita akan bisa untuk ride momentum dengan creating multiple content within short span of time. Gitu.
Berarti proses proposal dan proses learning dan proses reporting itu juga very you guys both see that AI is very helpful on that ya, to gather a more sharper insights sama mungkin suggestion
ya, suggestion dan create content banyak dan cepat.
Dan ternyata user sudah bisa pick up itu ya?
Sudah bisa. Jadi kalau mungkin aku boleh share example gitu ya, karena tahun kemarin pas Ramadan Bango sudah menggunakan AI untuk trend check di Ramadan moment. Jadi kita partnering dengan influencer waktu itu Nagita Slavina. Kemudian kita create personalized content using text to speech AI dan facial generation AI. Nah, mekanisme ini membuat Bango bisa menggather banyak sekali user generated content karena mereka bisa play the message that text gitu ya. Nah, hasilnya bagus sekali karena engagement rate-nya memang sangat naik dan itu juga terlihat ke dalam brand metrics. Seperti market share pada saat Ramadan kita bisa naik 330 pips dan juga brand image di key attributes-nya itu bisa naik sampai 440 pips gitu. Dan itu kita showcase juga di MMS Market Award tahun 2024 kemarin dan alhamdulillahnya kita menang di salah satu kategori di Impact Media Omnichannel Marketing.
Wah, congrats nih Mbak Nuning. Salah satu one of the achievement ya di 2024. Boleh dong tepuk tangan tuh teman-teman. Aduh, lumayan ya, 2024 is very challenging and also a lot of opportunities karena trend itu very rapid ya, changingnya ya. Ini mungkin pertanyaan yang udah mulai semakin agak serius nih ya, kayak bisnisnya nih, key metrics-nya nih, kayak experimentation, innovations, data, it's very sexy, it's very very intriguing untuk kita bisa dig deeper and very sexy juga untuk kita bisa explore the brand bisa ngapain aja. Terus akhirnya how do you measure long term impact-nya untuk the business growth and what key metrics sebagai industri yang udah fokus on Unilever kan sudah terkenal ya kayak always innovate, always do something first gitu, kayak apa sih mbak learningnya untuk bisa benar-benar dapat long term performance?
Oke, kalau sebagai player, sebenarnya kita mencoba balance antara short term dan long term measurement. Karena at the end of the day, successful innovation itu harus bisa contribute ke top line result juga. Dengan continuous top line result, output carry-nya kita bisa dapat. Tapi sales growth alone is not enough ya. Kita juga harus mengukur the consumer behavior change sebagai salah satu key metric, dan juga bagaimana consumer perceive our brand gitu. Nah itu biasanya kita lihat dari brand power, di mana di brand power ini kita bisa ensure apakah inovasi kita ini memang addressing consumer core needs, dan apakah communication yang kita launch di market itu membantu consumer untuk connect to our brand in a more meaningful and authentic way, sehingga dengan demikian brand love-nya akan naik. Di situ kita akan melihat impact dari a series of campaign that we do, apakah itu to build up a stronger brand love dan brand power.
No wonder ya brand-brand yang Mbak Noning pimpin pernah dapat award Silver Dolphin Trophy di Cannes Corporate Media and TV Awards 2024 for branded content. Boleh tepuk tangannya. Pernah juga sama View ya?
Iya, itu yang tadi dengan View.
Ini. Terus Bangor juga dapat bronze trophy di MMA Sematis. Ya, benar Ibu Cantik? Oh benar katanya. Jadi congratulations for the achievements.
Thank you.
Dari Mbak Dila juga pasti banyak banget achievementsnya. Mungkin aku juga pengen penasaran nih sama Mbak Dila nih di Dentsu. How do you aku kehilangan tunjuk saya. Looking ahead, how do you see the role of experimentation dan creative evolving in Indonesian marketing and advertising landscape?
Actually, generating growth looking ahead is quite challenging because we have some trend about rapid changes in terms of society, technology, and also economical. So basically, brand needs to push their boundaries to stay relevant and also competitive in this market. Creativity will move beyond crafting only visual and stories and focus more into creating an immersive, multi-platform experience, connecting audience across all channels, from digital, social media, and also offline channels. This experience will not only resonate in terms of emotional, but also can generate real value, basically. Data will also play an important role, where it enables marketers to experiment with precise. So by testing, optimizing, and also scaling ideas in real time, brand can minimize the risk and also maximize ROI and quickly adapt to the shifting consumer behavior. Personalization at scale will also be the key, with AI and analytics delivering tailored experience.
Okay, very interesting nih discussionnya dan conversationnya, tapi it's only 2 minutes left. Jadi thank you so much for the panelists. Mungkin I get to summarize a bit about the session. Kalau if I can put it into a structure gitu ya, maybe from this conversation I took it that is very important to have the insights as the fundamentals, as the foundation for all the things that we want to do gitu ya, from the proposal from the creative agency, also from the brand perspective, kayak where we want to drive our brand this year, brand insight, user insight, culture insight, competitor insights as well, and then that can be the fundamental to drive experimentation, and the output itself we have to plan it ahead so we know what we are going to want to achieve, like engagement, awareness, share of voice, and eventually we can get the emotional and functional benefits from the audience point of view as well, and how we as the brand, as the media, as a creative agency can work together to finally solve real problem tadi yang disampaikan sama Mbak Nuning, untuk bisa benar-benar solve apa sih the problem of Indonesian's population nowadays. So I need to end the session because it's time is ticking. So thank you so much all the panelists. Thank you Mbak Nuning, thank you Mbak Dila.